What's up, guys? Ace is here with
Brian,
and we are Worth the Download. This week we're reviewing, what is it? Unleash the Archers, a new album called Apex. So I think for both of us, this is kind of a new band. We kind of did a little bit of research and found out they're from out west, here in Canada, out in Vancouver. And so we decided to review the newest album, Apex, and it's a metal album.
it's definitely metal. A lot of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna hurt your ears a little bit. Sorry.
But at least they get an idea. So yes, Unleash the Archers. So going into this album, we obviously had never heard of them, right? So going into this, we just heard like the single. We're like, this is actually pretty good, and they definitely take some effort in doing their music videos, because a lot of the videos are like pretty well done. And so we decided, well, they're local, they're they're from Canada, and so let's give them a listen. And going through the album, I was not disappointed. I actually enjoyed the album quite a bit. I know I listen to a lot more metal than you do, so I'm curious as to kind of how you felt about it.
You know what? So I'm not a big fan of metal, right? But like going into this, and it's gonna sound like I'm biased because they're Canadian, but I actually did enjoy this album like a lot. Not a lot, but I did enjoy it to the point where I say, yeah, I would listen to the next album. Like that's how I felt about it. What got me really interesting is because in the album, like, there's not a lot of, like, there are girl singers, but there's not a lot of metal girl singers. Or am I wrong about that?
There are a few, here and there.
Right. So, but the thing is interesting because she's the lead vocalist, and then there is a screamer.
Yeah.
Right. And the screamer does a pretty good job of doing like the screamo part of it. A little bit too like satanic sounding.
Okay.
But it did like balance between the two, right? The only downside I think about the whole project in particular was that it started out great, and then it went like on a straight line, as in like it didn't really like wow me, and then it ended good. So that tells me there's potential with the band. I think they have a lot more to give, a lot more. Probably they're gonna screw around with their sound a little bit and make sure it's very pure in their own way, or maybe be unique. I don't know. But I'm excited for the future for this band. They're relatively new as well. So
yeah, they have a couple albums under them, and so this album was 10 tracks long, and the first track on this album rather comes in hard. Like, it comes in hard, but in a really good way, and it kind of got me excited for the album. But it came up with like a really strong intensity, but then kind of like you said, right, it kind of stays at that intensity pretty much the whole album through. But there isn't too much dynamic in terms of the songs. It seems like it's just like in your face all the way through, and I find that's one of the things about a lot of metal bands that kind of like gets you a little bit bored when it comes to the album, because you'll listen to it, because even though the song was only 10 tracks long, the album itself was over an hour long. These tracks are long. These are like long tracks,
7-minute tracks. Yeah, like it's really hot in here, so I'm gonna
so it makes for a long album and for a long listen, but for you to be like intensely listening to something for over an hour, it takes a lot out of you, I think, as a listener. And so it makes me think, because like being a metal fan myself, I like albums or bands that like to throw a lot more dynamic into their metal, right? So I think of bands like Tool or System of a Down, right? Mm-hmm. Bands like that where like they're metal, or some I know you say would be more like new metal and stuff like that, but there's dynamic to those albums, which I think is why some of those artists are some of my favorites of all time, because they know how to come into a genre and make it their own. Mm-hmm. And I think these guys have definitely potential with that first track, because it had that dynamic. And so yeah, I'm excited to see what else they got kind of in store. So
future's bright for them.
For sure,
future's bright
for sure. So if you're gonna give this album a score, then out of 5, what would you give it?
So out of 5, because like it's a pass for me. I wanted to give it more because I actually do enjoy it a lot more, but I don't want to be too biased about it. Right. But I did enjoy it. So for me, it does take a pass. That would be a 3.5 metal guitar.
Metal guitars? Okay.
It's 3.5.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, out of 5. Definitely worth the listen. So close to be worth the download, I would say.
Yeah,
so close.
So yeah, for myself, again, I think it's definitely worth a listen. I definitely want you guys to check these guys out, because I think they definitely did a good job with this album. In terms of, like I said, like the dynamic and keeping you interested and stuff like that, I'm gonna give this album about the same. I'm gonna give it like I'm torn between 3 and 3.5. I'm gonna say 3.25.
Oh wow.
Archers.
3.25.
Archers.
So that's less than me.
Just slightly.
Just slightly.
Just slightly. But I'm more of a metal fan, so I don't know. I'm maybe being hard on these guys. But like I said, it's still, I think, an album that's worth listening to. So if you are into metal or you like harder rock, definitely give these guys a listen, because I think you guys will definitely find at least a few tracks that you'll enjoy. So definitely give them a listen. So that being said, what are we doing next week?
So next week, what do we do next week? We're doing someone with a big jug. Zzz.
A pair of jugs.
Pair of jugs. Katy Perry.
Yes.
We're doing Katy Perry in the new album that she's releasing. Now Wikipedia is classifying this as dance pop. Nah, we'll see what will happen.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see,
you know,
right?
I'm kind of on the fence with Katy Perry, but I guess we'll get into that next week when it comes to her music. But we're doing a completely 180, going from metal to pop.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
By the way, the music video that we saw from that band was kind of, anyways, yeah, kind of weird.
For Unleash the Archers?
Oh yeah, Unleash the Archers looked like they were unleashing archers.
Well, yes, they have the whole medieval thing kind of going on for sure.
Okay, so make sure you follow us on the Instagram or gram.
The Instagram at Worth the Download, and make sure you guys subscribe so you know when we drop our next album. And I guess we'll catch you guys on the next one.